In this final clip from the show Are Black Women Stupid that was aired on Blog Talk in November of 2012, you will hear some of the guys are very thoughtful and they get it. So I'd like to hear what you have to say. As usual, ignore the telephone number that you'll hear shouted out. That's not my number anymore. Hasn't been for years. I haven't had anything to do with Blog Talk for a number of years. But I think this kind of topic, even though it's tough to listen to, is very important for us to discuss as women. And, where do we get the messages that this is what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to treat ourselves? And make sure that you don't teach your daughters this crap so that they have a full opportunity to actualize themselves for the wonderful people that they can be, free of all this dogma and restraints by gender. My name is Deborrah Cooper. I hope you become a subscriber to the Debsterism channel. Let me know if you have any ideas for other topics. You can email them to survivingdating@gmail.com. Hit that notification bell when you subscribe, and you'll get instant messages letting you know when I upload content like this. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, so 678. What's your question or comment?
Hello, how you doing?
I am fine. What's going on?
Well, I am. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to tell you that I just wanted to comment. I have a great show, and the guys who are here, I'm gonna just commend all of them because guess what, ladies, black women, white women, whatever, you deserve what you're able to give. Okay, I'm a CNN editor and also a Blog Talk host. And point being is, I don't know where, these black men who are, taking advantage of what you're doing, where they come from. They come from our mamas and our sisters and our aunties. And the thing is that these young men that you just talked to is that when the young ones, just like you talk about, you're of age, okay, and you're of character, okay, and you're able to select. And some of these young, women I see of color, they kind of spawn and grow up, grab hold to the thug, want to be guys, and if they don't do what they want them to do, and they don't dress the way they don't want them to dress and whatnot, and if they go to the clubs or whatnot, it's kind of hard. But the title of your show is that. Are black women stupid? And I will say, hell no. I will say, again, you deserve what you're able to give. And I want to say, and I'll commend you on your show, is that as you grow of age, okay, and you are able to kind of recognize those things that you want and those things that you don't want. And it is the generation gap, like you mentioned before, is that these younger ones sometimes catch hold to these guys, and I don't want to call them all thugs. I don't want to call them anything, different because, they are men. And, another individual said something that the good guys are in jail, the good guys are not in jail, whatever. The thing is, number one, as I deal with entrepreneurs all around the world, the number one category, and I deal with about 88% of my entrepreneurs I teach and try to share and show how they can deal with the financial situation of a former investment banker. Okay.
Okay, you're going kind of off topic.
Our women.
Topic.
No. The point what I'm trying to say is the women, okay, the black women are those who are getting more education, and they're getting the exposure, and they're making the money, and even those who are making the money, they sometimes feel that they have to regress to accept less. You deserve what you're able to give, and I just want to say thank you for your show. And the point is, no, are black women stupid? No, they aren't. Okay? Are they stupid? There's an enormous and monumental difference between being ignorant and stupid.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling. Okay, let's get 347 on here. 347, I promise to pick you up next. Your mic's open. What's your question or comment?
Well, peace and blessings.
What's up?
I just want to say this is a great show. My name is Bree. I'm the host of Bree Life Radio here on Blog Talk.
Okay, no commercials. What's your comment?
Well, no. I want to commend you for the show topic. I think it's great. It's a show topic that I've addressed. No women, black women, are not stupid. What we are is, I agree with the last gentleman where he said there's a difference between being ignorant and stupid. I think we are able to pick up on the things that are going on between us and black men. Sometimes we tend to put the shades on because we don't want to be alone. We might have had a bad relationship before. We feel like a failure. We don't want that feeling again, so we tend to settle. The point that the gentleman made earlier about the relationship prostitution, well, that goes on both sides. I know a woman that was in a relationship with a gentleman for a year. She was allowing him to use her vehicle. The woman was not happy in the relationship that they were in by the time that year had gone around. She wanted to end it. As she went to collect her things and she's about to leave the apartment, he stops her and says, well, the money that I put into the truck, I know that you're mad at me, but the money that I put in the truck, we're going to have to talk about it at some point in time. I mean, really? We talking about, I mean, come on. You drove the truck for a period of time, and now you want to talk about redeeming money that you might have put into a vehicle that you drove for a period of time? Are you kidding me?
Girl, that's
and women are not supposed to feel
a charge car, the accounting of a rental vehicle and how much it would cost him to rent.
Exactly.
They
there you go.
How much you owe me? You better
dollars
get out of
make sense. Okay. So my point is that women are dismayed about how men are treating them, but not so much dismayed where they're not standing up vocally enough and saying this is poor behavior and I'm not going to accept this anymore, or I'm not going to accept this right now. You play with a dog, he'll lick your mouth. If you're not communicating enough in the beginning to say these are my expectations, and if you're not going to meet these expectations, then it's fair for you to let me know now so that we're not wasting each other's time.
Tell it.
Okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Straight talk makes for clearer understanding.
Now, let me ask you this one question here.
Sure.
Why is it that you think so many of our sisters have a problem doing that? It's like they don't want to ask them even something as basic as are you married? And they certainly don't want to do anything that they feel is going to, push him away or something. I don't know what they're thinking. But why is there such hesitancy in asking those kind of hard questions when those are so important to the strong foundation of a relationship? What's your opinion there?
Well, my opinion about that, it goes back to my initial comment about the communication, especially the communication that happens at the very beginning when you're getting to know one another. You should never be afraid to ask certain questions. I was a healthcare worker for 10 years, and I know that one of my top 5 questions is, what type of health, do you have any health issues? Have you had a recent HIV test in the last year? And what was the result? Because I'm a woman in my mid-40s, and as you probably know, and maybe your listeners may or may not know, HIV is one of the top 3 killers of African-American women.
Mm-hmm.
AIDS. So if we're not asking these questions, and then things just happen to us. Who can we really blame? You have to do your due diligence walking in the door. And not only just your due diligence, you have to keep your eyes widely dilated. Okay? Pay attention to every damn thing that he says and that he does and what he doesn't say and how he doesn't react to certain things. See, it's not just the reaction, it's the lack of action that a person that you should be watching very closely also.
I extended the show for 30 minutes. I needed to get a little something to parch my throat, to relieve the parchedness in my throat. But anyway, we're talking tonight about an issue that's extremely important in the black community. It's my opinion that many black women are just stupid when it comes to how they deal with and protect men that really don't deserve that kind of loyalty and allegiance. I wanted to talk about this issue and get your spin on it, especially when it comes to things like some statistics I found that discuss the high rate of sexual assault in the black community, and the fact that 100% of the black women that reported a sexual assault between 2004 and 2008 were committed by black men. So that would mean in such a situation that a black woman's worst enemy, her number one enemy, is the black man. Now, a lot of men, a lot of women are like, oh, you shouldn't say that. That's just wrong. Hey, numbers don't lie. What you want me to do? I'm not the one that did it. It's not my fault. I'm just reporting to you what the realities are. Now, this is 2008. We're now in 2012. Things could be different. But these are the last statistics that I could find, so there you go. That's what we have. So let me put another issue out there. Now, I talked about some of the information that I found on a Facebook page that is liked by 26,248 African-American men and women. I think this page is nothing but a misogynistic hate page for black women. And yet there are black women that, co-sign with the stuff that this guy puts up. This guy is just a joke. But anyway, here's another. I'm going to read you some of his little ditties. Now, this one says, why do black women loudly proclaim that they don't need a man? Because they prefer women. And then underneath that, he showed a picture of, lesbian couple. Now, my comment to that was that a lot of black women don't need a man because men have made themselves expendable. Not all. Now, keep in mind, when I say men, I'm talking about the men that fit this profile. I'm not talking about everybody. So I don't need anybody calling me saying, well, I don't do that. That's not me. If this doesn't apply to you, then I'm not talking about you. But each one of you knows men that this does apply to. So don't get defensive. Just listen. Listen and learn, and make sure that your sons don't grow up to be like this. That's all I ask. I have a daughter who's out here trying to date, and it's hell on her. I feel sorry for her. I mean, I actually shed a couple of tears at some of the stuff that she's had to endure. I hate that my baby gets talked to like this and treated like this by brothers. I think this is just wrong. But, this is our reality. But I would love it if the people who are responsible for raising these young men up, which is primarily women, would teach them how not to be like these guys that we're talking about tonight. That is the point here, for you to learn. A lot of women don't think about this stuff. They teach their kids, to do his homework and be responsible and, not to lie and all this kind of stuff. But you also have to take responsibility for how he is as a man with women. And this is something I think that is vastly overlooked. And a lot of it begins by you modeling these kinds of behaviors. If you laying around with every other clown in town and your son sees this, then he's going to think that's how all women do, and he's never going to trust a woman. These are the kind of things you now need to think about. Okay? So so he says this. So women, they don't need a man. Okay, whatever. Then he says, a woman who states that she wants a man but does not need a man is a woman who does not deserve a man. This type of woman or girl wants a boy toy. Men want and need loyal black women, not immature, disloyal, bigoted black girls who seem to determine that there is a difference between wanting and needing a man. Now, every psychotherapist and mental health professional in the world tells you that there is a vast difference between wanting and needing anything. That's what they try to teach you, because a lot of people have drug dependencies or other addictions that they feel like they need, and the psychotherapists go through great pains to teach people that there is a difference between needing and wanting. So this guy turns around and tells black women that they need to listen to him and understand that there is no difference between needing and wanting when it comes to a black man. The hell it's not. Okay, so then he turns around, he says, well, single mothering in the black community is a disease, and black women are the carriers of that disease. Okay, who's going to call in and talk about that shit? I was like, this guy is out of control. If I went on his page and said everything I think of, I'm sure he would boot me off of it and, shut me down. But the guy is a lunatic. Okay, 254, what's your question or comment?
Hello, Ms. Cooper. How are you doing this evening?
What's up, Luscious?
Oh, nothing much. Just listening, enjoying the show. Figured I'd give my 2 cents. It is a very interesting topic. I wouldn't go as far as calling black women stupid, naive. You can really pretty much put any adjective in there you want. But essentially, love at its core can be extremely addictive. It's almost like a drug. And, like a person who's addicted to drugs, their main everything is just getting that feeling of that drug. Anything and everything else doesn't matter. So a lot of times when people get involved in relationships or in a loving, committed relationship, it becomes like that to them, that feeling. They want to continue to get that feeling, so you will continually lose sight of yourself and who and what you are in a relationship, and that is a very, very big mistake. Essentially people need to realize the person who does the least in a relationship has the most power. And people don't understand that. If you're bending over backwards, jumping through all these hoops, it's almost like investing in something. When you invest in something, you want to see a return on your investment. You just don't want to keep throwing money away and getting nothing back in return for it. But it could be many issues. People want to call it, is it an addictive personality? Is it daddy issues? Is it just the overwhelming need for love? I really can't call that and say exactly what it is. But unfortunately, people lose sight of who and what they are. Obviously, people are intelligent. You have street smarts, you have book smarts, you have common sense. Unfortunately, when you get involved in a relationship, a lot of those things tend to go out the window. A person looking from the outside looking in can see these things, but when you're in it, it's almost like a blind person when they attempt to read. They don't see words, they feel them. And in a relationship, you feel things, you don't see things. And that's what leads you astray. And you get in these relationships that are not worth your time or worth your effort, and the rationale is, well, this is the love of my life. This is my soulmate. Just because you view someone in light doesn't mean they're the person for you. You can love somebody with all your heart and cannot be with them. But it takes a person, you really have to be able to love someone to be able to let them go. And people are so terrified to do that. Your life isn't going to come to an end, but people feel that way, And you did touch on something I really agree with, the notion of all, A-L-L, all men are this. All black women are that. People need to stop doing that. Everyone is an individual. You could be raised in a household that has 4 children raised by the same parents, same everything, and all 4 people could be totally different.
Exactly.
So the notion that everyone is exactly the same is, look, we all have bad experiences. At some point in your life, in a dating and relationship environment, you're going to play the fool. I've done it on more than one occasion. But you live from it and you learn from it. Love can be intoxicating. It's almost like alcohol. When someone drinks a lot of alcohol and they're intoxicated, they may act differently than they would in a normal day-to-day, in a sober mindset. That's just how things go. But people need to really, really start to understand this thing. You are important as well. You matter. If you continually find yourself in these situations, then you're probably one of 3 things. Either you have an addictive personality, maybe you're a slight bit insane. That may have something to do with it. I'm not sure. Or you're a sadomasochist, a person who derives pleasure from pain. You don't want to continually see yourself in this vicious cycle of dead-end, nowhere relationships with people who continually do this. And I, as a single man, I have many friends, men and women, and they will come up, and tell you about their issues and their problems, and it gets to get redundant after a while. You hear it again and again about all the problems. I'm like, okay, well, look, I can certainly give you advice. I can tell you what I would do, but ultimately, whatever decision you make is truly yours. So my question to you is, what is your goal? Is your goal to have a committed relationship and move forward? Is your goal to end it? And if you do have a goal, what's the plan to make it happen? Because essentially, a goal without a plan is a wish. So if you don't understand that, you can complain. It amazes me that people can be in a relationship, share a home, have kids, share a bed, have sex with somebody, but you can't have an open and honest dialogue with that person. It boggles
Isn't
my
that
mind.
amazing? That happens
This is the
all
person
the time.
I don't, like I said, I hear a lot of it. I'm just like, well, what I have to say has no bearing. I can tell you to divorce him, I can tell you to leave him, but ultimately that's your decision. That rests with you and you alone. It has no bearing on me what you do. You know, but as I said, and I could use, I guess, an example of what people might consider, I guess, a stupid move. You can use Chris Brown and Rihanna. Now, obviously, you know what happened years ago. He assaulted that young lady pretty well. I mean, I saw the pictures. I read the report. I mean, he really, really assaulted this young lady. And there was rumors, are they talking, are they dating? Well, they're officially back together. Now, I have no really opinion on that. I mean, if you are willing to accept a man who beat the living daylights out of you, that's your choice. Now, me personally, I'm not a forgiving person. God forgives. I don't. So I couldn't let that one slide. That's just me personally. I'm not going to call her stupid. I'm not going to call her name. People can change. They certainly can. I'm like, well, where's the bar? What can't he do? If he's already beat you up, what would you consider an act where you would say this ain't going to work? But that's her decision. That's certainly her choice. As I said, common sense isn't common to everyone. And when it comes to affairs of the heart, as I said, we all play a fool at one point or another. You know I know with your Ask Heartbeat segment, I'm sure you get letters and things where you just like, are you kidding me? Yeah, like a woman writes in and say, well, my boyfriend, he slept with my mom, my sister, my uncle, and my brother. Do you think he loves me? You know, stuff like that. You know, but
why don't you call?
As I said, I mean, it's a very interesting topic, and I hate to see that people go through it. But at some point, you know, it's good to have a fight within you. But sometimes you just got to know, you know what, when it's just good to cut your losses and walk away. And a lot of people have a tough time doing that. It's not going to kill you. You'll wake up the next morning. That's why you have feelings within you. You know it's not right. You know it's not good. You know, why would you want to get fully invested with this person and then you have a situation where you may have a child, you can't stand the guy, and it's just and it's just not about blaming women, obviously. You know, men misrepresent themselves, they lie, but when you find out who this person is and they show you, believe that the first time. Don't hold out hope. Hope is good. Like, I hope I got something to eat tomorrow. That's good. But hope that somebody's going to change. Like, I know Obama, he ran on change his first term to get his first term in election. That's one thing. But you can't change people. This is not an old thing. This goes back to, you cannot change anyone. You can't make someone be something that they're not. And unfortunately, people can't seem to wrap their mind around that. You know, and you don't want to totally lose or devalue yourself just to have something or someone to hold and have you and call your own. So I'm not going to take all your time. Thank you for taking my call, and I certainly will be listening.
Okay, thank you as usual.